So what rookie running backs should we really be trusting enough to draft in a redraft fantasy football league this year? There's a
Mm,
lot of them out there.
good
Maybe
question.
some will have opportunities, but what is our confidence level on drafting some of these rookies? So we're going to go through a bunch of these rookies and just kind of talk about where we are. First one we're going to talk about is Breece Hall.
Brother
Current
Breece.
ADP is running back 24. I have him as my running back 19. Where do you have him ranked?
I have my RB 21.
Okay, 21. So we're both higher than ADP as it
Hmm.
currently stands. So do you think he can, return value on his ADP? Is he someone you feel comfortable drafting in a redraft league?
Yeah, I feel really comfortable drafting Breece. I think this is an opportunity coming his way, first and second down back. I think no doubt about it. I think he can probably range about 15, maybe 20 plus touches a game. Really depends on how they utilize Michael Carter. I do believe Michael Carter will still be fantasy relevant on this team. He's had success with multiple, like a running back by committee with him and Javonte in college, completely different guys. But I
Yeah.
do believe Michael Carter can be the J.D. McKissick, the Kareem Hunt, the Tony Pollard role. So that's why I guess I'm a little bit lower, I guess, compared to you. I have
Sure.
him RB 21, but there's no doubt Breece is going to be the workhorse here. He's going to be the first and second down back. He's going to be the goal line guy. He is even technically a better pass catcher, I would say, than Michael Carter, because he was a do it all guy in college. So
Yeah.
it's interesting to see what Michael Carter is going to be because I still believe in him, but we got to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, for me, you take Brees Hall in the second round. Michael Carter was a fourth round pick last year. Michael Carter's been good. But yeah, I mean, one thing that people keep saying is, well, Michael Carter's he's a pass catching back. He's the third down guy. Well, Brees Hall had a better college profile as far as a receiving
For
running
sure.
back than Michael Carter did. So I don't
Hmm.
think that's a good argument for people to use. I think when the game's really on the line, I think it's going to be Brees. I don't think it makes sense for it not to be Brees. On goal
Right.
line scenarios, I think it will be Brees. I don't see Michael Carter taking goal line touchdowns away from Brees Hall. So
Hmm.
I think Carter's going to have a role. But again, I mean, outside of
Agreed.
that, who's taking carries? Is it Tevin Coleman, Ty Johnson, LaMichael
Don.
Pirine? I don't think
No
so.
way. No
And
way.
I think the difference between Brees Hall and Michael Carter is I think Brees Hall can be the reason an offense improves. I don't think Michael Carter is the
Is that
reason an offense
right?
improves. I think he is a good third down complementary back, but he's not the reason that your offense takes a next step. I think Brees Hall is that running back. So yeah, I feel pretty comfortable drafting him. Again, he's my RB 19. That's pretty easy. I think we're both comfortable drafting him. Ken Walker is the next running back we're going to talk about. ADP, he's currently the running back 35.
Hmm.
I have him as my running back 33. You have him as your 30.
Yes.
Um, he's interesting for me. I think
Okay.
he's more of the what if scenario in my mind.
Okay.
There's the unknown in drafting Ken Walker. There's the upside, the what could be. And he could serve as a running back two in this backfield, but he also could still, as a running
Oh,
back two, he could get maybe 15 touches a game
yeah. I
with
hear
the
you.
way that we expect this offense to go. So, and then you always have to ask yourself, well, what if Rashad Penny goes down? So he's one of those picks where I don't think you should expect consistency at the beginning, but there's an opportunity for him to really grow into a role. And if there is
Absolutely.
injuries to Rashad Penny, who has been injured many times before, then you could have, someone who could be getting, 15 to 20 touches a game if he is the RB1 himself. But I think the offense is going to change. And I feel pretty confident taking um, a chance on him with his current ADP because I don't feel like the ADP is all that high. But at the same time, if Penny's on the board, May and Kin's on the board, I feel like maybe I'm just waiting and just
Okay.
someone draft one of these guys first, and then I'll take the
And
other.
then you take the other, right? For me, I feel really confident in Ken, the real estate agent.
Mm,
I really believe in what he's going to be doing in this offense. I'm more skeptical on Rashad Penny. I know a lot of people believe in this report saying Rashad Penny's going to be the guy. He's going to be this. I mean, he's missed more than 5 games since 2019. He's really only had one full season where he played um, a full season, and that was his rookie year.
yeah,
For me, I think Ken Walker is going to be the guy that automatically is going to surprise us. He's my RB 30. That's maybe low. I'm close to ADP and RB 35, but this offense is going, like you said, it's going to change. There's going to be more of a run-focused offense. Obviously, Drew Luck and Geno Smith there as quarterbacks, they're going to struggle, and they're going to need help. And I mean, maybe this is kind of a bold statement, but I know Ken Walker is not a pass-catching back, but I do believe we'll be more surprised in the utilization, how they're going to be utilize him, maybe averaging 2 to 4 touches a game in the air specifically, and then getting the touches on the ground, because I do believe this team is going to be checking down a lot. Drew Lock, Geno Smith, these guys aren't efficient passers, so make it easy for them. Check it down.
Yeah.
Once again, he's not going to get crazy targets, 2 to 4 maybe touches in the air a game. I think that will surprise us maybe by the end of this season, and we can be like, you know what, we've really underestimated what Ken can do in the air and maybe on the ground with an inefficient offense, which will make him more efficient for your fantasy team in a weird way. So I'm not really worried about Rashad Penny. I'm going straight in for Ken Walker because I just believe he's going to get the workload day dot.
Sure. Yeah, I feel pretty confident in him in Dynasty. I'm just more hesitant in redraft with Penny still being there.
For sure.
And what he showed last year, I mean, playoffs, there wasn't a better running back to own than Rashad Penny. James Cook. Let's talk about James Cook.
Brother
Currently
Cook.
the ADP running back 39. He's my 34. He's your 33.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure where you stand on him. I mean, I know that they tried to sign JD McKissic last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly think this is what James Cook's role. I think this is what he's doing. He's the third down back. I don't think he's more or less than that. He's the third down back. And what could that mean in the Bills offense? That's the question that you have to ask yourself. But again, another upside pick. Where do you sit on James Cook?
Yeah, I'm a believer in James Cook and what he can do. I've said it really early on. I do believe he can be an all-down back. Is he going to get the opportunity? Maybe not. For me, like you said, they did sign JD. They tried to sign JD McKissic, but they get a guy like James Cook, a younger guy that can play the exact same role that maybe they were looking for. And in a redraft perspective, maybe he's going to give you the JD, Kareem Hunt, Tony Pollard role, maybe even the Michael Carter role of this past year. But, I guess in the dynasty perspective, I'm all in, obviously. But
yeah,
I love James Cook. He's a great pass-catching back. And I do believe he should be getting more work early on in the season, in my opinion, rather than later in the season. We just have to wait and see what's going to happen. And one thing I wanted to say that I had in my notes was like, are the Bills really going, and I'm not saying they're not, but are the Bills really going to be investing in a running back in the way this offense is really built, like a true bell cow? Like, they had the opportunity to take Breece, That's a true bell cow guy, a guy that can give you the first, second, third down work without a doubt. Why pass up on him and get a guy like James Cook? Maybe they're waiting for a better name in next year's draft, but is this team ever going to draft a guy like this while having Josh Allen on their center?
I don't see why not.
I don't see why not. I don't see why not either.
More complete.
For sure. And that's just a challenge, for people. That's what I was thinking. I'm not sure if they're going to go that route, at least in the next 3 years. Maybe when Josh Allen gets older and, he's taking too many hits and maybe he's got injured and he missed a couple games. But, I'm just
You're
not
talking
sure
about that from, hit James Cook's dynasty value, or what are we speaking
I guess,
about?
I'm thinking, I guess in a dynasty value, but I'm also thinking about, it was just a conversation, I guess I wanted to bring,
I mean, no, I get where you're coming from. I don't see a reason why they wouldn't want to, have that kind of player on their team. Maybe it is next year. I don't know. But also, if I own James Cook in Dynasty, I'm also looking at free agency next year. And I think there's a lot of good running backs that could make sense to sign there for cheap. Like guys like Dameon Harris come to mind. So, who knows? But specifically for this year with James Cook, there's going to have to be a little bit of a change in Josh Allen's game if we want to see James Cook be fantasy relevant, to be honest, because if you look at last year, there was about 6 to 7 targets a game for the running back position between Zach Moss, Matt Breida, and Devin Singletary. And 6 to 7 targets a game isn't actually all that much for the running back position. So he wasn't really dumping the ball off as much as other quarterbacks in this league do to the running back. So could James Cook, and was JD McKissic supposed to be the bridge between that gap of hey, maybe you need to run a little bit less and trust the dump off to your running backs. I don't know. James Cook could be the gap there. He could be the bridge to fill that gap. But those are the questions that I have. But I do kind of see him in that third down role.
Yeah.
So I'm open to drafting him, but again, James Cook on the board in a redraft league, I don't like feel.
Yeah, I'm not going on my way.
I'm not
to go
like
get
going
him.
on my way to draft him.
Yeah, for sure. And I think one thing we need to remember: this offense is going to look different. Brian Dable is no longer the offensive coordinator. Ken Dorsey is there. What does that offense look like? I think that's going to be another question. Maybe they run the ball more, or maybe they continue with the passing game as they did the past couple years with Josh Allen. So we just got to wait and see what this offense looks like and see how James Cook can fit into that role.
All right, let's talk about Dameon Pierce. Running back 46, according to ADP. He is my running back 39. Biggest question you have to answer here, and he's your running back 37.
Correct.
Biggest question you have to answer here is Marlon Mack capable of keeping Dameon Pierce off the field? And Marlon Mack,
I don't think so.
last 28 games, I mean, he's not played.
Right.
He's only had 28 carries, and since the Achilles. And if you're a young team that's rebuilding, how much of aging Marlon Mack post Achilles do you want to see? At what point is this building future blocks for your team? He probably starts as the guy, but I think Dameon Pierce is one of those guys who could help people get to the playoffs, like during that stretch of the last 3 to 4 weeks before the playoffs. He's probably not going to ever be a running back one. I don't think he's talented enough to hold the job long term, but I don't think there's all that much competition for him to beat out. And even philosophically, like, it doesn't make sense for them to keep using Marlon Mack over trying to see what they have in Dameon Pierce. So I think he's worth taking a shot on as ADP.
Yeah, I definitely see the same pathway for Dameon. I think it will start as a 50-50. I would say specifically for like the first 5 games. Maybe Marlon Mack gets hurt. Maybe he's not the same. Maybe it's clear cut that Dameon is a better back and he is going to be taking over. So I think we will see, in Dameon's perspective, him getting the workload a lot earlier than we probably would have expected him to.
Right.
And let's not forget, I called him the bulldozer when I was watching his film, because he's going to punch in the ball. He's always punching in. He's a great goal line back. And I believe if the Texans can get into the goal line, the red zone, the 5-yard line, I think it's always going to be Dameon Pierce in my perspective, or could always be Dameon Pierce. Not saying he's always going to score every touchdown, but I see the pathway for him. And he could be sneaky. It can be sneaky.
Sure. Yeah, the only other rookie running back that I'm really interested in rostering this year in redraft would be Tyler Algier. Just lack of solidified options on that team. Patterson's there, Damian Williams, but I think he could easily find his way into some opportunities, and that intrigues me at minimum. Is there any other running backs that you're kind of interested in rostering? In redraft this year?
Yeah, I think there's 3 for me specifically: Rachaad White, Isaiah Spiller, and Brian Robinson. These guys aren't going to be home run guys. These guys aren't going to take maximal opportunity away from their primary back. But if their primary back does go down, we've seen Lenny miss some time. We've seen Austin Eckler miss some time before. We've seen Antonio Gibson miss time. These guys can definitely fill in that role.
Sure.
Won't be guys that are going to, once again, take the role away from them, or won't be guys that's going to win you your championship, but it can definitely win you weeks, can help you win get you those at least 8 to 10 points just in case if you do need them.
Sure. Yeah. If I'm drafting Leonard Fournette, why not grab Rachaad White?
Same thing
as a handcuff.
Same thing with Antonio Gibson. Why not get Robinson and Eckler and not get Isaiah Spiller? So
sure,
I hear you.
Well, we wanted to give a little meter on how we felt about these rookie running backs. Why don't you comment down below? Let us know what your confidence level is on these guys in year one. And obviously, if we talk about Dynasty, that changes everything for these players. But talking about redraft, what we believe in this year. So comment down below. Let us know what your thoughts are.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/fantasylandfam.